It's always a good idea to read nutrition labels closely when you're at the grocery store, especially when it comes to sugar. This stuff is added to some unexpected foods, which can have a negative impact on your health. So keep an eye out for the following sneaky sugar bombs. Dried fruit sounds like a healthy snack option, and in many ways it is. Dried fruit contains the fiber and micronutrients of fresh fruit, but because the water has been removed, the natural fruit sugars are much more concentrated. According to WebMD, 1 cup of mixed dried fruit contains about 92 grams of sugar. That's way more than a comparable volume of even the most sugary fresh fruits. For example, a cup of fresh mangoes contains only 23 grams of sugar, while cherries contain 20 grams and grapes have 15 grams. It's hard to overeat fresh fruit because all the water they contain helps fill you up. Dried fruit, on the other hand, is very easy to mindlessly munch. And just because the sugar in dried fruit is natural doesn't mean it's good for you when eaten in large quantities. Fruit is high in the simple sugar fructose. Unlike glucose, which can be used by every cell in your body, fructose can only be processed by the liver.
No sugar added, and I'm proud of that. I want to tell you about this man I know. His name's Captain Crunch.
Consuming too much fructose, whether it comes from soda sweetened with high fructose corn syrup or fruit, can overload the liver and, over time, damage it. This in turn can cause other issues such as fatty liver, high cholesterol, gout, and problems with the hormones insulin and leptin, which control feelings of fullness according to Healthline. If you're watching your sugar intake, you've probably considered switching to an alternative natural sweetener like agave. But don't be fooled. Agave nectar, made from the same succulent plant used to make tequila, still contains sugar, and lots of it. 1 tablespoon contains 15 grams of sugar, whereas a tablespoon of regular table sugar, or sucrose, contains just 12 grams. In fact, 2 other popular natural sweeteners also contain more sugar than sucrose. Honey packs in 17.3 grams of sugar, while maple syrup has 12.4 grams. Your body doesn't care whether the sugar you consume comes from agave or a bag of Domino. It's true that the calories from agave are slightly less empty than the calories from regular table sugar. Agave does contain small amounts of several vitamins, including riboflavin, pyridoxine, folate, and vitamin K. These micronutrients may guard against conditions like depression, heart disease, and stroke, and B vitamins can boost metabolism. But you'd have to eat a lot of agave to get meaningful amounts of these vitamins, and they can be found in a number of other foods that don't contain such large amounts of sugar, according to WebMD. Plain yogurt is undoubtedly a healthy food choice. Flavored varieties, on the other hand, can contain as much sugar as a decadent dessert. All yogurt contains naturally occurring sugar, known as lactose. The body breaks this down into 2 other sugars, glucose and galactose. Lactose gives dairy products a slightly sweet flavor. In addition to serving as a source of energy, lactose assists with the absorption of calcium and magnesium, and can act as a prebiotic food for our gut microbiome. Unlike other sugars, lactose has a low score on the glycemic index, meaning it won't spike blood sugar levels as quickly as other sugars like sucrose or table sugar. Many individuals, however, lose the ability to properly break down lactose as they age, according to Medical News Today. Many yogurts, however, contain added sugar to make them tastier. Yoplai's original blueberry smoothie flavor, for instance, packs in a whopping 17 grams of added sugar per 6-ounce serving. Even plain Jane vanilla flavor includes 14 grams of added sugar, as much as in the more decadent-sounding cookies and cream flavor. One survey in the UK found that the average 3.5-ounce serving of plain yogurt contained 5 grams of total sugar, all naturally occurring lactose. The average flavored yogurt, however, contained 12 grams. If you think going organic is the answer to avoiding sugar, think again. The average organic yogurt surveyed contained 13.1 grams, according to Yogurt Nutrition. Is your favorite on-the-go snack a hidden sugar trap? Granola bars can be surprisingly high in sugar. A serving of oats and dark chocolate crunchy granola bars from Nature Valley contains 12 grams of sugar, all of them added. The salted caramel chocolate sweet and salty granola bar contains 10 grams, 9 of which are added, while the dark chocolate cherry fruit nut bar has 8 grams, including 7 grams of added sugar. Even though granola bars are often marketed as a healthy snack or meal replacement to help you lose weight, the large amounts of sugar they contain pack on the pounds in 2 ways. First, sugar, like other macronutrients, contains calories, 4 per gram. Second, sugar can influence hormones that affect weight. As a 2019 paper published in Medical Hypothesis pointed out, the body deals with the sudden spikes in blood glucose that sugar causes by secreting insulin. Insulin allows glucose to be used by cells, but also causes any unneeded glucose to be stored as fat. If you eat large amounts of sugar long enough, your body becomes resistant to insulin's effects, and your pancreas has to secrete more and more insulin, leading to weight gain. In fact, as the paper noted, insulin resistance is a defining characteristic of obesity. If you consider the best part of a salad the dressing you douse it in, you may be drenching your healthy veggies in more sugar than you realize. Wishbone balsamic vinaigrette, Thousand Island, and Italian dressings, for instance, all contain 4 grams of sugar and just 2 tablespoons. Even brands that are perceived as high-end and more health-conscious pack their salad dressings with sugar to make them tasty. The poppy seed dressing from Newman's Own contains 5 grams of sugar per serving, while their raspberry and walnut vinaigrette has 6 grams. It may seem counterintuitive, but across brands, creamy, can't possibly be good for you ranch dressings actually contain less sugar than other flavors. One of the reasons experts advise against eating too much sugar is the sweet stuff's well-established link to cavities. But how exactly does sugar damage your teeth? According to Healthline, dental plaque is actually a waste product created by harmful bacteria that live in your mouth and feed off the sugar you consume. When this plaque builds up, it makes your mouth more acidic, which erodes tooth enamel and creates cavities. The 2 species of bacteria most likely to cause cavities are Streptococcus mutans and Streptococcus sabrinus. Whether slathered on a burger, dolloped on a hot dog, or puddled next to a pile of piping hot fries, there's no condiment more American than ketchup. If you're as addicted to the stuff as most people are, the reason may be all the sugar that's hidden inside that familiar bottle. A single serving of Heinz contains 4 grams of sugar, and while that may not sound like a lot, consider that a serving size is just a single tablespoon. Who has the self-control to use just a tablespoon of ketchup? Heinz does offer several options with less sugar. For example, a sweetened only with honey option with 3 grams of sugar and a no sugar added choice with only 1 gram. A number of their supposedly healthier varieties, like no artificial sweeteners and organic, contain just as much sugar. All that sugar adds up. A 20-ounce bottle of regular Heinz contains about 2/3 of a cup of sugar, according to Insider. Okay, so maybe you don't limit yourself to just a single tablespoon of ketchup while you're doctoring up your food. But you can't be eating that much, right? Well, according to some truly shocking statistics reported by Taste of Home in 2019, the average American eats 71 pounds of ketchup a year. Eating it is one thing. Do not, however, do this with your ketchup.
Oh! Rita, duck! Stop! What are you doing?
What? I'm trying to put it out!
With ketchup?
Put it out!
Stop it!
Barbecue sauce is another condiment that's surprisingly high in sugar. Just 2 tablespoons of Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce contains a whopping 15 grams of sugar, 14 of which are added sugar. A key health concern when it comes to sugar is its link to diabetes. According to Healthline, eating a diet high in sugar can increase your risk for diabetes both directly and indirectly. Fructose, a type of simple sugar that gives high fructose corn syrup its name and makes up half of regular table sugar, can damage the liver, which in turn can lead to insulin resistance. This in turn makes it difficult for your body to properly control blood sugar levels. Eating too many sugar-rich foods can also lead to weight gain and more belly fat, both of which are risk factors for diabetes. Diabetes is a big problem in the United States. The American Diabetes Association estimates that approximately 34.2 million Americans have diabetes, while another 88 million have prediabetes, a condition that, if not properly managed with diet and lifestyle changes, can become full-blown diabetes. Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. Did you know there's sugar lurking in your favorite Sunday gravy? To be fair, a high-quality tomato-based sauce does require a bit of sugar. As Taste of Home explained, the sugar cuts the natural acidity of the tomatoes and helps create a well-balanced sauce. But a big pot of homemade sauce requires a very small amount of sugar, as little as 1/4 of a teaspoon, depending on the variety and the ripeness of the tomatoes you're using. Manufacturers, however, often add considerably more sugar than what's absolutely necessary. Prego chunky tomato, onion, and garlic Italian sauce contains 9 grams of sugar, including 3 grams of added sugar in just half a cup. Ironically, the more decadent-sounding sauces often contain less sugar. Prego's homestyle Alfredo, for instance, only has 1 gram of sugar per serving, while the basil pesto Italian sauce has none. Smoothies have a reputation as a healthy, convenient meal option, but is it deserved? Although constructing a delicious smoothie that doesn't break the sugar bank is totally doable at home, the choices at most smoothie and juice bars should be considered dessert rather than a balanced meal. Jamba popular Mango A Go-Go smoothie, for instance, contains between 65 grams for a 16-ounce small and 110 grams for a 28-ounce large. Even a modest 7.6-ounce serving of the mango and papaya concoction from smoothie delivery service Daily Harvest packs in 19 grams of sugar. Their chocolate and blueberry smoothie contains 32 grams for a similar serving size. While dietary fat is often blamed for raising cholesterol levels, sugar may have an even bigger role to play. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2007 followed more than 15,000 women for 9 to 11 years and concluded that those who ate more sugar had higher cholesterol levels and were at greater risk for developing cardiovascular disease. Another study, published in the Journal of the American Heart Association in 2020, looked at the link between cholesterol issues and sugar-sweetened beverages. While soda may be the first of these drinks that comes to mind, commercially produced fruit drinks certainly fit the bill. The study found that individuals who consume more than 1 serving of sugar-sweetened beverages per day had lower HDL, the good cholesterol, and higher triglyceride levels than those who consume less than 1 such beverage per month. Gatorade and other sports drinks sound like a health-conscious beverage option. After all, they're designed to replace fluid and electrolytes lost during exercise. In reality, however, they're often packed with added sugar. According to the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital, the average 32-ounce sports drink contains between 56 and 76 grams of added sugar. A comparable serving of soda has between 104 and 124 grams of sugar. Part of the reason many people don't realize just how much sugar is in their sports drink is because of the deceptive serving sizes. Most sport drinks consider a serving only 8 ounces, yet the bottle you chug down after a workout is usually 3 to 4 servings. Even though sports drinks contain roughly half to 2/3 the sugar of soda, most consumers still consider them a valuable performance enhancer. Research shows, however, that in most cases, sports drinks are unnecessary. The electrolytes and simple sugars they provide can be beneficial after prolonged exercise, more than 60 minutes of constant or intermittent high-intensity exercise, or more than 90 minutes of constant lower-intensity exercise. If you're just going for a quick jog or gym session, however, plain water is sufficient, according to the Sugar Nutrition Research Center. According to the 2020-2025 Dietary Guidelines for Americans, 2% of all the added sugar Americans consume comes from sports and energy drinks. When it comes to breakfast, instant oatmeal is another quick and seemingly healthy option that's actually loaded with sugar. Oats by themselves contain no simple sugars, but if you prefer the flavored kind, you'll get a big dose of added sugar. Original unflavored Quaker instant oatmeal, for instance, contains 0 grams of sugar, natural or added. The apples and cinnamon flavor, however, contains 8 grams of added sugar, while the maple and brown sugar variety contains 12 grams of added sugar. Ironically, the healthier instant oatmeal varieties sometimes contain more sugar than the regular instant oats. The high-protein versions of the apples and cinnamon flavor, for example, has 10 grams of added sugar. But don't write off oats completely. They're packed with important micronutrients like folate, zinc, iron, and manganese. They're also an excellent source of the soluble fiber beta-glucan, which can lower cholesterol, improve blood sugar control, and promote the growth of beneficial gut bacteria.
I know you can do this, Skinny Bones. Now eat.
No thank you.
Eat.
Nope.
Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Health Digest videos about your diet. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.